this was a great time to really analyze your business. What's going right? What's going wrong? What did you start off with a plan, and where is your plan going from that?
Hi all, welcome to Engati CX. I am Drishti from the Engati team, and today we have the pleasure of welcoming Howard Wolpoff to our interview series. I would like to begin with just a quick intro of Engati. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform, available across 14 channels with 25,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by INC.com, TechWorld, CIO, and many others. We run the Engati blog, video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 300,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest. Howard Wolpoff is the Chief Marketing Strategist at Profit Master Business Solutions. He is a marketing executive with over 25 years of experience, helping hundreds of businesses create profitable solutions to drive sales, attract and maintain customers, build a solid corporate brand. He has helped launch 3 businesses: Chelsea Piers Sports and Entertainment, the Brooklyn Cyclones minor league baseball team, and gridironnow.com, the premier site for SEC football. He previously has served as the director of Best Media in Houston, Texas, and the vice president of client integration at Client Focus Media, where he also produced 4 local TV shows and was a host on Buzz TV, where he interviewed local business owners and leaders. So hi, Howard, we are really happy to have you on Engati.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Yeah. So starting with the first question that I have for you is that with businesses moving towards digital, how important is having a digital strategy for marketing today, and how do you believe it is going to change for the future?
Well, I think a lot of companies have realized that having a digital strategy is extremely important, especially those that didn't have any type of strategy over the last number of months. Not being able to have people walk into your business, not being able to go to meetings and have face-to-face interaction. You have to have things built into your business to be able to continue business if something like this hopefully will never happen again. But if it does, being ready. But digital, it always starts with a website. People have to have an effective website to communicate with people, and communicating really is the key. It's not just a digital brochure, which I think most websites around the world are just a digital brochure. It has to be something that you are starting the conversation with. Being able to know that when someone comes to your website, they're not just there for like 5-10 seconds and seeing the same as every other and jumping off, but to really engage them immediately, to answer the questions that are going on in their mind of why they're searching you in the first place, and to continue the conversation so that they want to have that conversation with you. So this it's monumentally important now more than any time that you're creating an interrupt and engage a pitch and an offer in your website. Your website needs to have a headline of who you are. The website needs to have something that follows up that headline. It needs to have a real engaging pitch to what you do and why you are presenting a specific offer. And the offer really needs to be just people need to have it in that realm. And in turn, having a box on the top fold of your website to provide an email address and a name to receive that piece of information from them, so that you can then start a drip campaign conversation moving forward. This now becomes a prospect as opposed to just someone who clicked on your website a couple of times.
That is absolutely true. It's like not making it more salesy, or not showing that it is the website who wants to connect. Maybe it's the user that wants to come and connect with the website owners or whoever is behind the product.
Your website is your number one salesperson. Yeah. And it has to perform like your number one salesperson. If your number one salesperson wasn't speaking to anybody, wasn't bringing in prospects, wasn't bringing in sales, you would fire your number one salesperson. So you have to equip your website to be that number one salesperson. If you're able to capture information from the now prospects and then continually communicate with them, that is going to make your number one salesperson much more successful. And as we all know, not many sales are happen just the first try. Most people are not now buyers. They're soon to be buyers. Everyone is on a journey for information as they go to websites. And also it is a process of communicating with them more than sometimes it's 5 times, sometimes even up to 12 times, because 80% of a sale will happen between that 5th and 12th time. So creating a drip campaign, in addition to phone calls and texts and messages to drop bys to speak to people, is going to be important to get that sale and to grow your business.
Right, absolutely. So with the marketing messages that they should be producing, and how can they go about creating a superlative customer experience as well?
Well, I think now more than ever, you have to put your best foot forward with any interaction you have with the customer. People are really going to judge who they're doing business with, and unfortunately, a lot of people will be judging who they're spending their money with. With the job loss that's happened around the world because of COVID-19, there's a smaller pie to go after within your industry, and you have to adapt to that. So customer service is key, and first and foremost, you have to really relate well with your customer and show them how much you care and appreciate their business and want their repeat business. You have to over deliver. You have to find different ways to create added value for your customer, so that they are looking back at the transaction, the interaction, and they're really positive with it. And there's small ways to do that really go a long way. You have a lot of businesses that are suffering, who you can partner with to help get people into their doors as well, such as restaurants. So if restaurants can create a partnership with a restaurant to offer a coupon, so that so you've done your transaction, and whatever the widget is that you are selling is you're providing that. You're providing a coupon. You're providing something extra special from a bonus from your company as well. That is really going to go a long way, and more importantly, it's going to help others in the process.
Yeah. Like it is actually right now what it is like when somebody in these tough times are helping the customers, so it will create a good brand value, and also people will start trusting the company, and which will help maybe in the long run, if not right now.
I think one of the things we've learned, not just from the COVID-19 period, but the just what's gone on here in the United States and really around the world over the course of the last couple of weeks, is that people need to relate to people. People need to communicate with people. It has been open communication lines, and that it translates in business as well. You need to show how much you respect, how much you appreciate, how much you like your customer. So face forward if they're coming into a location and there's an interaction, whether it's you, whether it's staff from your business that's interacting with them, whether it's if you've had a email newsletter or emails that you send out to people and you've stopped doing that, you got to start again. You have to, and if you have been doing it, you have to look at what you're wording and how you're wording it. You have to really show that appreciation in all that you're expressing them, and provide them with lots of good information. I used to work and run the sales department for a sports radio station here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I would always do the best interviews for the week. I'd take the clips and I put it into a weekly email for our advertisers, just in case they didn't hear it. They have a chance to really enjoy it again, and other fun things that were going on at the radio station, sharing with them, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be putting these things on. And that's kind of the mindset you have to be having right now to communicate with all these your levels of customers, whether it's their sponsors or patrons.
This is actually the basis of the book that we at Engati have published. It is called Evolution of Customer Experience. So just like you talked about it, how we should give importance to the customers, and that is what we have jotted down in our book as well. So definitely agree with
I've always been a fan of the theory of the customer evangelist, that you want to develop such a relationship with someone that they are so enamored of you that they are telling the world about you. I think a company like Chick-fil-A is a great example here in the United States, where most of their marketing is done by the customers who love them so much, and then enhanced with other things that they're doing. So if you're able to figure that out within your community, how to create community within your customer base, that will really go a long way. And just because you haven't done it in the past doesn't mean you can't restart now.
Right, right, absolutely. So, what role will technology play to help business step up their game and to cope up in the post-pandemic economy?
Well, I think the biggest winner, if you have to have a winner in a situation as a pandemic, is Zoom, which we're on right now.
Yeah.
And then you have others that are jumping in a little bit later, but trying to catch up. I've seen the TV commercials for Facebook and what they're doing in Messenger, and Google is trying to really get the word out of the rooms and the opportunities they have there. But first and foremost, you have to figure out how to interact with people face to face like this. We're in different continents, and we're having a real-time face-to-face conversation. Now I'm looking to your eyes, you're looking to my eyes, and that's very valuable. Moving forward, companies may cut their travel costs now because of fears and concerns, because borders are blocked to go to different places, and we could have that same conversation even though we're not in the same room for it. So that's first and foremost right there. Coming up with what is your strategy to interact with people. Second is all the different pieces you have online. You mentioned in your interaction what you do with bots. There's a very big value of bots on Facebook, bots on your website, but just you want people to feel that someone is communicating with them immediately. There's too much competition, and everyone is in a reactive now mindset that they don't want to leave messages. They don't want to wait for someone to get back to them. They want someone to get in contact with them now. Bots are a great way, and also be a very fun way with the way you program it. You can really start creating personality and bonding with the person with how you script those bots. I think email drip campaigns also are part of that as well, where scripting and the wording of your email and the responsive way that people get email 2, 3, and 4, and what they get based on if they go in one path of the sale and a second path of the sale. Communicate while finding that fine line between communication and harassment, because you don't want to go too far with bombarding people with information, because that could also backfire for you.
Yes, definitely. So I just had a question, like if somebody is looking to, start a campaign, so what are the basics that they should be keeping in mind when going on for maybe a social media campaign, if you could share that with us?
I think personality has a lot to do with it. It's one thing to just look. There are many resources that someone can select that you can just post articles that are on the industry that you work in or are talking about, and just put those in, and that's great and that's informative. But people don't always interact with that. The key to social media is presence and interaction. One of the things I look at when I'm looking at a prospect is how often are they on social media. The ones that did a great job of creating their Facebook page for their business in 2017 and put a good 5 pictures up there that day, and went back the next New Year's posting 6 months later and haven't been back since. I'm not the only one that sees that. The people that come take a look at you, especially if you have an icon on your website to jump to your Facebook page, they're all going to see that. So being present is very, very important, but being engaging is too. So having questions and polls and fun things and contests. Obviously, it has to be in line with what you do. You can't be you can't you can't be a prestigious law firm doing silly things on Facebook. But you can kind of come at a different angle of it that's a little lighter toned than what you're doing in business, without obviously respecting the interaction with clients and how you word things. But it doesn't have to be all stuffy because your business is stuffy. But also don't go too far. Don't be crazy zany unless you hit it on the head and are perfect with it. Then sometimes that could be a little off-putting. There's someone I'm following on Twitter right now who's doing a lot of political commentary. He's known as Randy Rainbow, who was a writer of, I guess he wrote on TV and has awards, but he's putting these unbelievable parody videos that he's putting on, and they're perfect. And so his following in the last month and a half, he's gained millions of followers because of that. There are other people who are doing similar things that aren't so great and they're not getting the traction for it. So you have to really, if you're going for being out there, you have to know your audience to want it, and you have to really hit it the right way. Otherwise, it's just going to be off-putting.
Thank you for that. I guess that would be really helpful for somebody who would like to start a campaign, or just maybe start with social media like now people are starting with. So
I think my theory on marketing has always been you have to market your business the way the people that you are targeting want to be marketed to. And that's could be a wide range, it could be a small range, but first and foremost, you have to know who your target is. Once you know who your target is, then you have an understanding of how you need to develop, how to speak to them and how they'll respond to you. And then you got to be consistent with it. It's consistency is key, and but you take some risks. Don't be afraid to test things, but when you know what's right, keep nurturing, and then really figure out ways to get people involved in the process. People always want to find some reason to interact, and you want to provide it to them.
Right, absolutely. So what do you think will be the role of data analytics and AI in crafting a marketing strategy and plan?
I think there's always going to be a role for it. Data and analytics, first and foremost, you need to know what's working and what's not working. Doing different A and B tests to see what's a stronger messaging is very important to do that. Analytics in general, like it's going back to the website. You need to know who's on there. You need to know when they're on there, why they're on there, what interests them when they're on there, so you can keep nurturing that. Any company that does not sign up to Google Analytics or anything similar to it to know how many people are coming to their website a day has really failed themselves, because you really don't know what stage you're at with interacting with people. Data is always important to analyze. You need to learn more about your customers. You need to learn more about your prospects. You need to learn about more your successes and failures. A failure is worse if you don't figure out how to learn from it. And analyzing the data from it can help you find 3 more successes that you never would have figured out. So those are always going to be the case. AI is really grown. I actually watched some show, and they were talking about the evolution of AI, and started with robots, and it kept me occupied a little bit yesterday, which I enjoyed. But you have to find the right process for it. A bot is AI, so that might be the maximum that a company really needs with AI. Sometimes you really on a higher scale and need to invest time, effort, and money into seeing how AI will help your process. Invest wisely, invest in time and money and decision making. But it's amazing how that some implementations can save time and grow revenues and grow the prospects of the company.
Right, absolutely. And I think with the technology growing today, we as employees of the product or working on the product can focus so much on better things where there is automation and data doing the menial work for us. So I guess that turns out to be really, really helpful.
Very, very true.
So concluding, do you have any other thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I think there's a lot there's a lot more to running your company and growing revenues than just digital. I think now one of the things that I was pressing with my clients and other people I've had a chance to speak to is this was a great time to really analyze your business. What's going right? What's going wrong? What did you start off with a plan, and where is your plan going from that? It's a real opportunity to kind of restart everything, and really you should focus on having a grand reopening when your business is moving forward. Celebrate it. Get people's attention to your business, but also looking at your pricing and offering strategies. Because if you're able to figure out ways to not be in an apples to apples contest with your competition, there are ways to do that and to have people value take value more than price in their decision making. But also, if you're able to come up with some real upsell, downsell, cross-sell strategies in what you're selling, you might be able to offer people at the time of purchase something else, whether it's a little bit better or in addition to. And remarkably, 34% of the time someone has made an offer like that, they're going to accept it. So if you're not doing that, think about how much money has been left on the table over the course of time. And this might be a good opportunity to really strategize of what goes with each of your offerings to grow revenues. I think people are going to try to have that need to grow revenues as fast as possible to make up for what has not been made during the shutdown times. And you have to be strategic. I work with small and medium-sized businesses here in the United States on a regular basis, coming up with strategies to how to interact with customers and with prospects, and once they're customers, how to grow revenues from the relationship. And that's really going to be key, get in front of the right person to help you, because it's always a powerful thing to keep on learning. And it's not a negative if you have to ask for help, especially now. Most people don't know how to navigate out of this. So I'm more than happy to answer questions for anybody who has problems that they're facing right now, and see how I can find help with resolutions to get them moving forward.
Yeah, that's true. We here like have to be more collaborative and hold our hands in these difficult times, because we have all gone through the same thing. So
exactly, we're all in this together.
yes. Thank you so much, Howard, for giving us your time. I think your insights and the strategies and the examples that you were giving, I think they were really valuable, and the audience is really going to enjoy this interview.
Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed it. I think that there's so much out there. There's so much. If you look at this as opportunity and not just this is the negatives from it, you really can come out ahead in the future. It may not be the smooth road that everyone wants, but you can get there.
Yeah,
I really wish everyone all the best in health and future business.
Thank you so much, Howard. We'll be back with a new episode with a brand new expert soon, so stay tuned and we'll see you around for the next one. Thank you so much.